Hey, it's Eric from Loyal Lab Electric and Generators. Today we are on site in Wakefield, New Hampshire, finishing up a Generac automatic generator installation. All right, so we're up here in Wakefield, New Hampshire, doing this generator install today. Anybody from the Wakefield area knows that they lose power all the time up here, so having a generator up here has kind of become a necessity. So that's what we're working on here today. There is something I want to mention, and that is doing generator installations in the winter. It's early January here. We are finishing this one up. We don't have too many scheduled for this winter because it's getting to be a lot more challenging. We really limit the installations that we do in the winter because once the ground freezes, it gets really difficult to do a quality job. There are some companies out there that are still doing installations all year long, and some of them may be sacrificing quality in order to get that installation done. If you think you want a generator, but we can't do it in the winter or you're not quite sure yet, we have an awesome generator buyback program where we can set you up with a portable generator to get you through this winter, and then when springtime comes around, if you're ready to pull the trigger on a new automatic generator, we'll be able to work with you and get you some money off that way. So this generator installation we're doing today is a little bit special for a couple of reasons. Not only is it our first one of 2026, but it's also the largest air-cooled generator that we've done because it is the largest air-cooled generator that Generac makes, and they just started making it. So it's not only their newest model, it's the next gen. There's a couple differences we can go over today, but it's also the biggest one that they make. It's a 28KW air-cooled. If you have to go any bigger than that, then they become liquid-cooled, and this kind of like a different animal. So this one's really a beast right here, but we're gonna go over some differences and what that looks like on the other end so you can kind of see the differences from there. Okay, so like I mentioned, this is Generac's next gen model of generators. There's a couple differences, but what I think is the most important and my favorite difference is the enclosure itself. If you can see, the top is sloped a little bit at an angle. The old generators were completely flat, so the water would kind of sit on top, and then after a couple of years, they started to look kind of all grimy and gross. And I think this new design is gonna let the water shed right off, and it will keep your generator looking new for much longer. The other differences on the outside are basically control-related things. The old generator had a different setup with different lights. This one's got new, just a little button on the outside. It doesn't have the door like some of the other ones had. But besides that, the look of the enclosure is the biggest difference on the outside. Moving on to the inside of the generators, the other thing that I really like about the new model generators is that instead of having to do 2 keys to lock your top, if you do lock your generator, you can now do it with 1 key right in the middle. So 1 lock will stop the whole top from being unlocked. It just makes it a little bit easier. It doesn't flex around as much, and it's less likely that 1 lock's gonna get frozen up on you in the winter. Other than that, everything's still the same. They open from the top just like they did before. They've got a little strut on here, just like the trunk or hatch to your car, so it opens and closes slower, so it doesn't slam and crush your fingers and stuff like that. As far as the end user, the customer, there's not a whole lot of things that are different. There's a circuit breaker in here, just like your other generator. Big major difference is that there's no more little screen in here. Your old generator had a little screen on there, gave you a little bit of information, not much, but it did help you a little bit. Now everything is controlled through an app on your phone. They used to connect to Wi-Fi, now they have cellular capabilities built right in, so they're activated, the statuses are checked, and things like that, all right through an app on your phone. It makes it really easy for us to activate, and it really helps with troubleshooting and stuff like that. It gives us a lot more information than the old ones. They open up just like the old generators did. Inside, pretty much the same as the other ones. I think they've changed the engines a little bit, but everything on the inside is pretty much the same. A lot of cosmetic changes and control changes and stuff like that, but it's still the same reliable unit that you had before. It's just new, bigger, and better. So like I said, this is a 28KW. This is the largest air-cooled generator that Generac makes, and I don't think there's another manufacturer that makes a larger air-cooled unit. We went with such a large unit for a couple different reasons. In most situations, you won't need a 28KW to power your home. This particular home has a lot of electric appliances. It's kind of a large house. We went over some different options with the customer, smaller generators where we shed some of the load and things like that, but they just really wanted the ultimate level of flexibility. They wanted to be able to run everything if they wanted, or at least as much as they could, without having to pick and choose panels or circuits, because there are a lot of sub panels in here. There's a lot of power spread out. So going with a larger unit gave them the most flexibility to use here up in Wakefield. All right, so that's everything on the outside portion of the 28KW install. Why don't we go inside and see how the team's doing? like I said, the 28KW is the largest air-cooled that Generac makes, so with a big generator comes a big transfer switch. Besides it being physically larger, it's pretty much the same. The inside internal workings of the transfer switch are the same, it's just a larger version of it. So you can see right now we're piping over from the 400 amp main panel over to the 400 amp main transfer switch. We've got a parallel runs of wire, so that's why there's a couple extra pipes up there. We're still a little bit early in the process, so it's still kind of coming together, but that's what we're doing on the inside here. So we can come over and get a closer look. All right, thanks for joining us on site here today for this generator installation. If you think you might need a generator, you probably don't need a 28KW, but we've got all kinds of options: automatic, portable, big, small, you name it, we can help you with it. So if you've ever thought about a generator, you can go ahead and give us a call at Loyal Lab Electric and Generator. Thanks for watching.